People don't usually tell you when they start disliking you. They don't send a message. They don't make an announcement. They don't sit you down and explain it. They just pull back. Replies get shorter. Invitations stop coming. Jokes don't land anymore. The room feels colder when you enter it. And most of the time, you have no idea why. What makes this uncomfortable is that many people who are disliked are not bad people. They are not cruel. They are not evil. They are often kind, intelligent, even generous. Yet something about the way they move through the world quietly pushes others away. Psychologists have studied this for decades, not in the dramatic, movie-style way, but in small behaviors, tiny habits, repeated patterns, things people do without noticing, but others feel immediately. This is not about changing who you are. It is about seeing what others experience when they are around you. Because whether we like it or not, humans are social creatures. We constantly read signals, tone, timing, energy, respect, safety. We decide very quickly who feels good to be around and who feels draining. And most people never realize which side they fall on. Before I continue, kindly hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video with your loved ones. Thank you. Now, let's talk about 5 habits that can quietly make people dislike you. Not because you are a bad person, but because these habits create friction, tension, or emotional exhaustion without you meaning to. And if you recognize yourself in any of them, that's not a problem. Awareness is not an insult. It's power. The first habit is this. You always make things about yourself. This one is more common than people want to admit. You are in a conversation. Someone is telling a story. Maybe they are talking about a bad day, a small win, a struggle, or something that mattered to them. And before they finish, your mind jumps to your own experience. You interrupt. You compare. You redirect. Oh, that happened to me too. That's nothing. Listen to what happened to me. I know exactly how you feel, because I once. You don't do this to dominate. You do it to connect. But the effect is the opposite. Carl Rogers, one of the most influential psychologists in history, emphasized something called unconditional positive regard. In simple terms, it means giving people your full attention without trying to reshape their experience into yours. When you constantly turn the focus back to yourself, people feel unheard. And when people feel unheard, they slowly disengage. The key issue is not talking about yourself. Everyone does that. The issue is timing and proportion. People like balance. They want space to exist in a conversation. When every topic becomes a bridge back to you, they feel like a supporting character in your life, not a participant in a shared moment. Over time, they stop opening up, not because they don't trust you, but because they don't feel met. Psychologist Alfred Adler believed that one of the deepest human needs is the feeling of belonging. Conversations are one of the main ways we build that feeling. When someone feels constantly overshadowed, belonging collapses. This habit often hides behind good intentions. You think you're being relatable, but relatability without listening feels like competition. People don't want to feel outperformed in their own story. The second habit is this. You constantly complain, criticize, or focus on what's wrong. Everyone complains sometimes. That's normal. Life is frustrating. But there is a difference between releasing stress and making negativity your default language. Some people walk into a room and immediately change the emotional temperature. They complain about the weather, about the government, about their job, about people, about how stupid, unfair, or broken everything is. At first, people nod along. They sympathize. But slowly, something shifts. Being around you starts to feel heavy. Psychologist Roy Baumeister studied something called negativity bias. Humans are wired to remember negative experiences more strongly than positive ones. That means one negative interaction can outweigh several good ones. When someone constantly focuses on what's wrong, people associate that feeling with them, not with the problem they're describing. You may think you're being honest, or realistic, or just telling it like it is. But honesty without emotional awareness becomes draining. People don't avoid you because they disagree. They avoid you because they don't want to carry that emotional weight. This doesn't mean you must be fake positive. Forced optimism is just as uncomfortable. It means knowing when to vent and when to pause, knowing when to share and when to shift. Healthy people can talk about hard things without making them the center of every interaction. If every conversation feels like a therapy session where nothing ever improves, people quietly check out. The third habit is this. You don't respect boundaries. This one is subtle, And it's dangerous because it often comes from closeness, not cruelty. You overshare too quickly. You ask very personal questions too soon. You expect emotional access without earning trust. You get offended when people pull back. Psychologist Irving Goffman talked about social interaction as a kind of performance. Not in a fake way, but in a structured way. We reveal ourselves in layers. Gradually. Safely. When someone skips those layers, it creates discomfort. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks. People decide when to open them. When you try to force your way in, even gently, people feel unsafe. This can look like constantly messaging someone without reading their energy, pushing conversations deeper when the other person wants lightness, expecting emotional labor without consent, taking offense when someone says no. People don't dislike you because you care. They dislike the pressure. Respecting boundaries is one of the strongest signals of emotional intelligence. Ignoring them signals insecurity, even if you don't feel insecure inside. People want to feel in control of their space. When that control is threatened, even unintentionally, distance becomes protection. The fourth habit is this. You always need to be right. This habit hides behind intelligence. You correct people. You debate everything. You argue small details. You turn conversations into competitions. You may believe you're just being logical, or thorough, or intellectually honest. But socially, this behavior sends a clear message. You are wrong, and I need you to know it. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman showed that humans don't make decisions purely based on logic. We are deeply emotional, even when we think we're not. Feeling respected often matters more than being correct. When someone constantly corrects others, they don't come across as smart. They come across as unsafe. People stop sharing ideas. They stop joking freely. They stop thinking out loud around you. Because every sentence feels like it might be challenged. This doesn't mean you should agree with everything. It means knowing when being right costs more than it gives. Strong relationships are not built on winning arguments. They are built on mutual dignity. Sometimes the most intelligent thing you can do is let a small mistake pass and protect the connection. The fifth habit is this. You lack self-awareness. This is the hardest one to hear because it feels vague, but it is also the most powerful. Self-awareness means understanding how your words, tone, body language, and energy affect others. It means noticing patterns. Do people often seem defensive around you? Do jokes fall flat? Do conversations suddenly end? Do people hesitate before inviting you? Psychologist Tasha Eurich, who studies self-awareness, found that most people believe they are self-aware. In reality, only a small percentage actually are. Without self-awareness, you repeat behaviors without understanding the impact. You may think you're being honest, but you're being harsh. You may think you're being funny, but you're being dismissive. You may think you're being confident, but you're being domineering. Intent does not cancel impact. People don't dislike you because you're flawed. Everyone is flawed. They dislike you when those flaws are unmanaged and repeated without reflection. Self-awareness doesn't mean self-hatred. It means curiosity. It means asking, how am I experienced by others? Not, why don't people understand me? The difference is everything. When you develop self-awareness, you stop blaming others for distance. You start adjusting your approach. And here's the quiet truth most people never say out loud. People don't stay away because you're not impressive enough. They stay away because they don't feel comfortable enough. Comfort is built through listening, emotional balance, respect, humility, and awareness. None of these habits make you a bad person. But left unchecked, they slowly erode trust, warmth, and connection. And the good news is this. Habits can change. The moment you start listening more than redirecting, people feel valued. The moment you reduce constant negativity, people feel lighter around you. The moment you respect boundaries, people feel safe. The moment you let go of being right, people feel relaxed. The moment you become aware, everything shifts. People don't need perfection. They need presence. And when people feel good around you, they don't just like you. They choose you.